Hey guys, Joe here, and I just had another conversation with another contractor, and same as the previous person, they put in that they want to scale their business. Now, after talking to them, it was more of the same problem where they're installing what they sell. So they were a fence company as well, so they are installing the fences. And again, and I won't go into too much detail, but like, you can't scale your business, because scaling is not like, I want to increase my revenue. That's not scaling. Scaling is like from going from, $500,000 to $1 million, right? That's scaling your business. Increasing your revenue is going from like 500 to 600. They're just two totally different things. So one, you have to get clear on like what you're looking to do. So if you want to scale, that means like double your business, right? If not more, double, triple, 10 times, whatever. The other thing that you got to look at is most people are, why do they want to scale their business? Well, they want to scale their business to make more money. Now, in this example, we're going to pretend that you install 100 fences a year, and your average gross profit per job after materials, labor, everything else is just say $2,000. Okay. So right now you're making $200,000. Obviously, you have to pay for like trucks and all that kind of stuff. So you're not really pulling in $200,000, but you're making $200,000 in profit, right? And you have to spend that on other things. We're talking about gross profit, $200,000 gross profit. And so when they think scaling, and we'll just say you want to go to $400,000 in gross profit because you want to be able to pay for employees or warehouse, vehicles, whatever. Okay. So most people think, well, I just have to go to 200 jobs a year, right, to make $400,000. Well, what if you didn't have to do that, right? Because, and I explained to him, like, it's a mindset shift. This whole thing's a mindset shift, because you're not going to get to where you want to be by doing the same shit you've been doing. Because it's if that was going to work, you already would have been there, and you're not talking to me, right? So instead, what if you could do the same amount of jobs and make just as much profit, right? Now, how would you do that? You can't possibly go from charging $10,000 for a job to charging $20,000. Like, that's impossible. Well, one, that's not needed, right? Because you're doing your math the wrong way. Because if your average job is just say $8,000 and you're making just say 25% gross profit, and you're making $2,000 per job. So that means you're spending, between materials and labor, you're spending $6,000. You charge $8,000, so you're making $2,000. Make sense? Well, what about instead of doing double the amount of work and everything else, you go from charging $8,000 to $10,000? That's your extra $2,000 in profit times 100. That's your extra $200,000 that you're looking for, but you didn't have to work any harder. Right? And a lot of people are going to say, or if they're not saying it out loud, they're thinking it in their head. It's in the back of their mind. You're thinking, well, you can't do that. I do it. I've done it. We still do it. Right? Every single day, multiple times a day, actually, we will give someone a price for $10,000. And they're like, well, so-and-so is going to do it for $8,000. It happens every day. So if so-and-so can charge $8,000 and then I can charge $10,000, why can't you raise your prices too? I used to charge that much money, but what I end up doing, and this might help you, is you turn it into a game. Because if you turn it into a game, it becomes, because you're gamifying the system, you're more likely to do it. But I'm not saying go from like $8,000 to $10,000. That's just ridiculous. You're never going to do it. Never. No one's going to do it. So what I did is you look at the average gross profit per day, because you got to realize, and I had the calculation somewhere, I don't use it anymore, but I'll have to find it, is that if right now you're making on average, back in the day, I was making anywhere from $800 to $1,200 per day per crew, which sounds like decent money, but like my expenses were really high because I didn't want to work. So I hired people to, work for me instead. So I didn't answer the phone calls. I didn't answer the emails. I didn't go out to do the quotes. I didn't check on the crews. I didn't do anything, right? I was only working, back then I was probably working 2 and 3 hours a day. Now I work about a half hour a day. So what I did is, and I'll tell you the long story short, is we went from making $800 to $1,200 a day to now making $1,800 to $2,500 a day, if not more, right? Even in the winter. So when everyone else is dropping their prices, we keep our prices the same. Okay? So what you do, you're not going to make that giant leap from 800 to 1,200 to like 18 to 25. Like you're never going to do that. But instead, you start making an extra $100 a day. So like if you know it's going to be a one-day job and you on average make $1,000 from that after materials and labor, then what you do is instead of charging $5,000 or whatever that price was, you charge $5,100. Can you do that? Can you go from $5,000 to $5,100? Of course you can. Well, just realize that extra $100 times 100 jobs was $10,000 that you just made, right? And then once you see that's possible, then you go another 100. So now it's 200. So now you increase your profitability by $20,000 and you're not working any harder. And then you keep doing it and doing and doing and doing. And you don't have to do it all at once. You could do it for like 2 weeks, right? And you're like, holy shit, this works. And then you raise it $100 and you're like, holy fuck, like they're still buying. Because it's not that big of a difference. Why can't you go from 500 to 5,000 to 5,200? Why can't you go from 8,000 to 81 to 82 to 83? Like, why? And especially the larger jobs, if you're going from 8,000 to 85, like, what's that? That's nothing. It's that simple. Like, it's that simple. I thought it was really difficult. I'm like, how the hell am I going to make more money? I don't understand. Like, I'm working too fucking hard. Like, it's too much. Like, I can't do anymore. I got to hire all these crews. I got to do this. I got to do that. No, it's not. You literally start with $100. That's all you do. And I know this sounds simple, but business is simple. I'm tired of hearing those Facebook posts. It drives me insane, and it's going to piss some people. I hate those stupid Facebook posts that talk about owning a business is so difficult and the stress level and this and that. Yeah, because you made it fucking difficult for yourself. You're doing it backwards. You think that by charging less, you're doing a service to your customer. Well, I have news for you. That's not the case. So anyway, I hope you have an awesome day. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.